Most Skyblock money making methods disappear very quickly since they become so overused. Because of this, having a consistent money making method is nearly impossible within Hypixel Skyblock. With this being said, in today's video, I shared some of the best unkillable money making methods. This first method is in my opinion the best unkillable money making method within the game. While doing this, you basically don't have to do anything aside from holding your movement keys along with left click. This is none other than owning a farm. Before you click off this video, I would like to make it clear that there is a lot to farming in Skyblock that many of you guys do not know. With that being said, let me know in the comments if you guys would like a full video going over everything I know regarding making a farm. However, for now, I will briefly go over the basics. When starting a farm, you will need to know what specific type of farm is best. Personally, I recommend making a sugarcane or netherwort farm. With building a netherwort farm, you will need the replenish enchant, which is going to add an extra 1 million coins onto the expenses. This makes it less ideal to many of the early to mid game players. Because of this, I use a sugarcane farm due to my current stage within the game. Although losing 1 million coins for a day or so is not completely awful, it is certainly not something I would like to happen. Plus, the profits when it comes to netherwort are not much higher than sugarcane. With that being said, my personal preference when it comes to which farm is best would have to be sugarcane. Let me know your input in the comments below. Of course, there are going to be some expenses towards the beginning of this journey, however you will be fully reimbursed within days. First, you are going to need a hoe, which will cost around 1 million coins depending on the farm you are choosing. Next, you will need some enchants for the hoe. First, you will need Harvesting 5 and Telekinesis 1, which will cost 40 XP levels. The most important enchants that you will need for a sugarcane hoe are Turbocane 5 along with Cultivating 1. These together will cost around 3 million coins depending on the deal that you can get. Overall, a starter sugarcane hoe will cost you around 4 million coins, which is not too bad considering the profit. I personally have 2 layers on my farm and I am looking to expand. A single layer for a sugarcane farm will only cost around 50,000 coins, which is the great part. I personally have 2 layers on my farm and I'm looking to expand up to 5. Now that we have gotten that out of the way, I am sure that many of you are going to say to yourself, what makes this method unkillable? After all, the prices on the bazaar change quite frequently. Well, if you thought that, you are wrong. The bazaar prices are very inconsistent, however by selling enchanted sugarcane to the bazaar on a good day, you will make around the same amount that you will get by selling to an NPC. With this being said, most of the time you can actually make more from an NPC. I don't foresee NPCs ever getting removed, which makes this method unkillable. Mobs can provide some of the greatest loot, however it can be difficult to obtain due to the insane luck it requires. This can be very discouraging, however, for many people. With this being said, you will need to know the easiest way to get wild mob drops. In my opinion, this would have to be dungeons. Dungeons have various mobs which drop insane loot. An example would be Shadow Assassins and Lost Adventurers. Both of these mobs can drop items worth hundreds of thousands or even millions of coins. Dungeons are very complex, which makes finding valuable items quite difficult. With that being said, it is very difficult to obtain the maximum profit. During the dungeon, you can get great loot from mob drops, which can range anywhere from a few thousand coins all the way up to several millions of coins. For this part, there is no particular method to achieve maximum profit, however I would just recommend killing as many mobs as possible. Next, you need to focus on the loot within the chest after dungeons. This loot is by far the best and can get you a few millions of coins after each dungeon run. A quick tip would have to be carrying a dungeon chest key. If you are in a lobby with 2 insane chests, you can use this key to open both, which is great. Another tip would have to be that you need to get a mod that shows the value of what's inside each chest. Some of my recommendations would have to be SBA or SBE. Either way, your dungeon experience will be much more profitable. You may be wondering what makes this method so unkillable. After all, if this video does well, people will constantly be selling dungeon loot. Well, you are correct to a certain extent. There is so much insane loot within dungeons that can be sold. With this being said, not a specific item will decrease the price quickly, however the entire dungeon item market will decrease slowly. This will give time for the market to slowly rise, keeping the prices fairly even. When it comes to this method, there is no way to calculate how much profit that you will be receiving. Sure, it's possible to get 10 Necron handles back to back, however it is also possible to never get one. With this being said, I will leave the profit up to you guys. Anyways guys, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing. But with that aside, I'll see you next time. Shout out to my mother and my father, 'cause we fell out. MSG fell out.